Back to Hardball, time for the sideshow. First up, the big courtship. On Good Morning America, Hillary Clinton talked about that big phone call from President-elect Barack Obama just days after his election, when he offered her the Secretary of State post.
Now, did he say State Department right away?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. He said, I want you to be my Secretary of State. And I said, oh, no, you don't.
No, did you really? Was that the first thing you said?
No, really. I said, oh, please, there are so many other people who could do this. But, you know, we kept talking. I finally began thinking, look, if I had won and I had called him, I would have wanted him to say yes. And, you know, I'm pretty old-fashioned, and it's just who I am. So at the end of the day, when your president asks you to serve, you say yes if you can.
Would you have called him?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, of course.
Well, obviously, I like the spirit of all this. I love this getting together. Anyway, maybe this is why Obama got the Peace Prize, if you think about it. Picking Hillary. That's making friends. That's bringing peace. Next, talk about a false start. The Republican National Committee launched its much-redesigned website, GOP.com, yesterday. Let's just say it's not quite ready for prime time. Take a look at the banner, the faces of the GOP. Now, this face changes every time you refresh the page. But as you can see, pretty much every person is either a woman or a minority. Not exactly, well, in line with the current Republican reality. In fact, remember the party's crop of presidential hopefuls last year. All white men. I remember I interviewed those guys at a big debate in California at the Reagan Library. Also, they've got a page up for the Republican Party accomplishments. Now, they're very big on what happened in the 1860s. You know, the Golden Spike, the Intercontinental Railroad, winning the Civil War. Gets a little weak towards the end around 2004. In fact, that's about the last big entry. Anyway, RNC Chairman Michael Steele, for his part, defended the new website, saying it reflects, quote, what's going on in the streets. Boy, it's getting rough. And speaking of the right, got some concerned email today. I never know what I'm going to get about my comparison yesterday of Rush Limbaugh to Mr. Big. Remember him played by Yaphet Kotto in the great James Bond movie. Anyway, I said I was thinking of Mr. Big, or actually Rush Limbaugh got me thinking of him, whom James Bond said, you'll know the quote here and why I thought of it. He always did have an inflated opinion of himself. Well, it was a movie reference with which I am very proud to relentlessly give you. But in this political atmosphere, I shouldn't have gone into such detail about Mr. Big's demise at the end of that movie, about that CO2 capsule, especially in reference to Rush. And certainly, I shouldn't have speculated, even metaphorically or cinematically, about that happening to Rushbo in the real world. By the way, we got word from ESPN late last night that Rush Limbaugh will be dropped from that group bidding to buy the St. Louis Rams.